Jayashree, who will be sharing her valuable experience in decoding and nurturing her XX reports. We're all eagerly looking forward to hear from you, Jayashree. Just a few words about Jayashree. She is an energetic, creative, enthusiastic, and enterprising person. Despite her busy schedule and frequent travels, she consistently finds time to engage in decoding and nurturing sessions. In fact, she is the one who brings the highest number of reports for learning during our morning sessions. Thank you, Jayashree, for your dedication. On a personal note, I'm grateful to her as she was the instrumental in introducing me to MiDNA. Thank you, Jayashree, for helping me spend my time in such a meaningful and fulfilling way. Please feel free to take the stage and share your experiences now. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Vijay. Yeah.
That was really cute. Thank you, Vijay.
Thank you, Da.
Yeah. And I like the way we keep addressing each other as Da. That is, again, another very, very common trait amongst us. All right. So welcome, guys, all of you who are here. Of course, I'm going to be using my offbeat, unconventional way, because from one of my reports, you should easily be able to make out that I am conventional in my approach, or I might be very compliant, but I'm very selectively compliant. So you are going to see a little bit of that here too. So let me begin here. How do I know the scripture is written by the divine is a question that we face very often from deep within the recesses of our own mind, as well as from the clients who come to us, right? And then every time we call this a divine decoding session, even the clients, we use the very same term with them. They say, how is it that you're so clear that it is very divine? So I give you another analogy for this, all right? So if I give you a map, how do you authenticate a map? How do you know that this map is actually speaking about reality outside? You first start following the map. Then you experience your correlation of what you see in the world and what you see in the map, and you start relating. Similarly, with very ancient texts too. You take the book, you take even this GBP map, and then you start correlating. If what it says and the experience of what you see is correlating, then you start believing, right? So in my case, the innumerable cases I have met and experienced before GBP also gave me clear dimensions about the people. But when I had GBP with me, it gave me further and deeper insights and many eureka moments. But all those eureka moments happened not only in the decoding session, but also when I was sitting and connecting with the clients on a deeper level. So every time a connection was happening, every single sitting and experiencing, both in the DDS session as well as with my clients, is rising my consciousness. It's literally rising my Kundalini. I'll make it very simple. This picture looks so complicated, and you might wonder, oops, are we digressing into the chakras now? Yes, a little bit, but in a very, very easy and simple way. So the first one, what do I mean by saying my consciousness is rising each time I'm sitting with this one? The first one, the Mooladhara, when it gets activated, I feel a sense of belongingness, right? With this entire organization, with the entire philosophy, with the entire thought process, only because I'm sitting constantly with the person at the helm almost every single morning. So else, if this is not activated, you will have suicidal tendencies. What do we mean by that? Not literally killing yourself, but killing the entire idea could happen. So that is how it rises. And then if you will stop there, it will not rise. So there is a lot of self-motivation that is required. If there is no self-motivation, then that could lead to discontentment. So that is how the energy goes to Swadhisthana. So everywhere, every time we go reach out to people, speak about this and get new clientele, there's tremendous self-motivation that is driving this entire thing. And when we don't get the clients, or when we don't get people who are ready to sit with us and experiment, then there's a lot of discontentment that sets in, and again, the energy goes down. So what happens next? How do I keep the energy rising, right? Pure devotion, correct? Keeping your body, keeping your mind fit by participating not just in the meditation that is being held every morning here, but also in my own personal practices that I have acquired over the years. So there is a lot of Jatara Agni, right? That is the Manipura chakra, where an ability to digest all this knowledge that is coming towards us. Not easy, because there are lots of filters that we apply. There's a lot of confusion that comes in, but yet keeping the energy alive, activating the Manipura and the Agni, the fire in my belly, right, which is further ignited by the kind of validation that I keep getting from the clients. And then it rises further, and it is the heart, the Anahata. Very easy for us all to get a little disturbed, especially when validations don't happen, or there's a lot of countering that's happening, or when there's a lot of negativity that we see or come across in our clients, lots of doubts that they are spewing, which is further increasing the doubt in us. There's a lot of self-depreciation that you hear in the clients, which could soon attack you. And there's one very important thing that we need to do. Never let the Anahata be disturbed, they say, because it's the purest. It is the love that needs to keep getting ignited. Now, again, the early morning sessions, though at times when we are looking at it very analytically, spews a lot of negativity even from our side. I keep my spirit alive by merely saying that whatever it is that we are diagnosing here is purely out of love, and it is only to ignite love. So definitely I apply a lot of filters there, ensuring that I don't hurt my clients when I'm actually speaking to them. Now comes the speech, right? The next one, which is the Vishuddhi chakra. You need to live in truth and love the truth. So there is a lot that we are digesting, we are filtering, we are processing. And then when we give it across, it needs to be with complete gratitude. So every time I meet a client, there is immense gratitude and immense love that is kind of, resonating in my heart, which makes me speak. Sometimes I feel way beyond what the DDS sessions speak, or way beyond what our understanding is, perhaps bringing in a confluence of all the knowledge that we have acquired from various other streams. And there are wonderful wow and aha moments. Now, and then the seat of perception, the Agya Chakra, is completely alive, right? So many perceptions. Dr. Ratna keeps saying, I don't know, I'm saying so many things, and how you guys process and what it is that you are going to tell the world, I don't know, is something that he constantly uses, which is so true. Because instead of letting the energy flow outwards, we need to again let the energy flow inwards, and also ensure that it is not coming from within us, but it is coming, one, because the client is also tapping into that energy of yours, wanting to heal, and you, out of sheer love, is giving out that kind of energy. So it just keeps you moving to the Sahasrara and makes you blossom. So imagine just one decoding session up here in the morning, and all the interactions that is happening is constantly making this energy go up and down, up and down. There are many awakening moments, and there's a lot of spark moments, but ultimately I feel humbled every minute of the day. One, because katrathu kaimanalavu, kalladadu ulagalavu. I always feel there is so much more to know before I judge a person, before I call them things. I ensure that a lot of positive energy keeps flowing, because we want an upward flow of the energy. Now I'm going to share a very simple mantra. Almost a year and a half, and I have been learning the Rudram and trying to understand what these chants mean. Being, you know how I am, right? My parietal is so strong, my temporal is so strong. And this is something that really touched me. It says, पृथिवी मे शरीरे स्मिता शरीरगुं हृदये हृदयं मयि अहममृते अमृतं ब्रह्माणि ओषधि वनस्पतयो मे लोमासु श्रुता लोमानि हृदये हृदयं मयि अहममृते अमृतं ब्रह्माणि. Amazing, amazing little line, which I'm reminded of every single day when I work with people. Say, this body is on this earth, and in this body is my heart. And this heart is connected to the nectar that is flowing everywhere and completely connected to the cosmic energy. And all the aushadis, all the healing, all the curing, all the vanaspatis, they are within me, and I have an ability to cure and heal myself as long as I realize that this body has the heart, and the heart is in the nectar that is flowing outside, completely connected with the cosmos. So keep your heart open today, guys. Believe in yourself. The universe has got your back. That is what I feel every time I decode. I taught today a session resonating with the mantra, bhavana, sharing a few moments. I was able to embody this understanding. I love all of you. Love to all of you who've come for today's session and also who meditated today and felt connected to their heart. Love to everyone else who dares to keep their heart open. So with that love, let us proceed. Now there's another interesting thing, right? So here are some of the reports. And there is always a very interesting start or a jolting beginning for each one of us. And each one of us has a very interesting story to catch. So this is the first case, the family that I have taken up. And this is Dhyuti Bhaskar, Dhanya, and Bhaskar Ramaya. I dare to use their words, names. Usually I don't use the names of the clients, but I dare to use these names because they've been so open and they have led me to almost 10 or 15 more clients, and they continue to meet up every now and then, and they're trying to see what more difference they can bring to their lives. And they have innumerable challenges. Have a look at what Dhyuti is the child, Dhanya is the mother, and Bhaskar Ramaya is the father. So Dhanya is this complex capital X1 character in the frontal. She is a C3 and capital X1, very left brain. And Bhaskar also is a very left brain person, but it is Dhyuti Bhaskar who's the right brain child. So the complexity arose when the mother who is very giving, who understands herself very well. Remember, she is a left frontal X1. She understands herself very well. She's very aligned with the divine. She is always exploring, very rich in her vocabulary with her C3 in her temporal, has been a journalist, has worked very deeply on every single concept and can report it very clearly to a complete A1 in her occipital and A1 in her prefrontal. Here comes her complexity, right? So though she has a clear understanding of various concepts, very often she's shrouded by self-doubt. She doesn't know if the direction she's taking is right. She can be very pushy. She can also be very, very domineering at times, but she has an equally domineering husband. While both of them want to be congenial and comfortable, they also have a lot of verbal battles because both of them have a C3 in their temporal, right? But both of them have an A1 in their occipital. So they do have some difficulties in visualizing or going and the way forward. So they had a lot of questions that came their way. But what really brought them together was their daughter, Dhyuti, and a need to provide everything that they could to provide her. But she, in turn, almost behaved like the mother's mother, right? She became a mother for Dhanya. So Dhanya constantly came along. She understood that it is not, it's very important to walk the talk. She's doing a lot of talking, but there's a lot of confusion. There is a lot of to and fro that is happening in her mind. So she came forward and she started taking a lot of nature sessions. She had plenty of interactions, especially when she was not able to communicate certain ideas to the others around her, but could see clearly where they were going. So she had a deeper insight. She has this X factor, a very, very strong ability to see through, but very fearful of communicating lest she is contradicted. That completely freezes her. So for years now, she has not been going to work. And very soon, Bhaskar has also stopped working because of all this confusion in their mind. And together, they are now taking care of a farm. They are trying to be more with themselves. But because of this constant contradiction between left and she moving a little more towards the right now, she also comes down with severe migraine whenever she is contradicted or when all her giving nature is thwarted by the people around her. When people don't respond and accept, it becomes extremely difficult. We can make out from her very design why this is actually happening, right? And with an ESFJ here, she is an ISTJ, and then the husband is also an ISTJ. Both are quite similar, and even though they want to provide or pretend outside and have a facade that they are very calm, they're very forgiving, they're very much together, there's tremendous fireworks happening. At the same time, you also see a lot of resilience in this person. So she is nurturing a mother-in-law who is going through cancer. She is nurturing a brother who is completely locked indoors. She is also facing so much from her mother, who's taking it upon her for not taking action and letting go and just being herself. So this is such a fantastic case for me, which made me stabilize my own self and say, listen, don't even try to change. You cannot fix someone who does not want to be fixed. But you can keep ruining your life trying. Over-explaining yourself does not help you to be understood. Loving them more doesn't make them love you back. You cannot fix the stupid. You cannot heal the toxic. Similarly, you cannot heal the one who feels very enlightened, very cosmic, and is already flowing with the universe. So I choose my clients carefully. I'm not here for a number game. I grow organically. Relax, I believe the numbers will happen. And this is exactly what I feel Danya is too. Everything will happen in due course of time, is what she believes. She is perplexed. So I'm just summing her up in this one based on her. She is perplexed, yet confident in God. She acknowledges the confusion or the difficulty of the situation. Many of us I've come across cannot even acknowledge the confusion that they are in. Maintains trust. She holds on to her faith and belief in God's presence. And that is precisely what gives her strength and even a way forward when everything is unclear. Believes in God's love and guidance that will lead her to a positive outcome, even in the midst of uncertainty. So she'll say, I don't know, ma'am, where we are going, but I'm sure something will turn out of this. She turns to prayer, she turns to scripture, spiritual community for guidance and strength. She has this ability to persevere, not give up when facing obstacles. Demonstrates the power of faith to others also, even when facing challenges. The kind of stoic presence that she has attracts a lot of people to her, and she in turn brings them here to get the GBP done. She says, I have told her many a time, why don't you kind of learn a little more and take this path? But that's not happening for her. She says, no, I would like to use you in between. I don't think I can really learn this and do this because of I can become a little micromanaging. I can become a little curt. I can become a little judgmental. And that's not where she has traveled. A testimonial is she has traveled extensively with me. She's very well informed about plants. So we are now collaborating, and I am designing an entire session on how to bring children closer to plants using her wisdom. She has brought me close to 12 clients. She journeys with each one of them, but she's afraid to learn or take up any work yet. Coming to the next case. So this is again another interesting couple. They came in first, the wife came in, she brought in her children, and doctor always says when a mother brings the child and says, let's kind of check out, there is something not going well in the family. There definitely is some confusion and there's some, dissonance happening out there in the family. And so it was first Samatha who came here. She's a D3A2, A1X1, A1R2, C2A3, A3C3. So I'll give you a few seconds to just look into this, and then you can listen to what I have to say, and then you can correlate. Rajendra took almost 3 weeks to come here and get his done. And when we saw only Samatas, we almost assumed when we were doing the DDS session that surely Rajendra should be a complete A1 character. Otherwise, it's quite difficult to put up with this woman's design. But surprise of surprise, Rajendra is also partly cognitive. He's not completely affective. So what is it that makes them stay together? And what is it that makes their lives perennial hell? Because they've decided to stay together, but they are not in it together. Yeah. So what is it that we see about Samatha here? Very left brain, has great dreams, likes to micromanage, likes to tell people what is right, what is not right, etc. But then it's very difficult for her to turn any of her thought processes into clear action with very low energy in the parietal. So she's a 38 in the right parietal, and she's also an X1 in the right. So all her right sides, they show less strength than her left side does. So somehow she keeps getting into work. She is trying to rationalize, but she has no positive attachment. But that is what she would like to say and bring into herself. So she keeps talking. There's a lot of self-talk happening about, I need to do this for my child, and this is how I need to bring them up, etc. But she doesn't find the attachment. She keeps moving away also, wanting somebody else to give her clarity and help her work. She's someone who wants to be outdoor most of the time herself. Her artha is becoming stronger. So attachment towards human created money is definitely getting stronger with her C2 in her temporal and also her C3 in her occipital. She doesn't understand emotions very well, right? She constricts herself. There is a little bit of minimalism that is coming in. There is attachment towards human created money, yet there is a little bit of minimalism. So there is a little bit of constricting of herself that happens. There is definitely a lot of love towards or feeling responsible towards her maternal side. So she tries and stretches herself beyond her capacity. So with so much of confusion in her own mind, she's always trying to carve a path for the others because she feels responsible. She wants to take that responsibility. But then every now and then she comes back to the self. What is there in it for me? How do I really? So this is one of the complexities that she faces. As far as her children are concerned, one is a complete effective one. The second one is going to be a survivor. He knows how to handle this mother and how to handle himself. But Aditya, the younger one, being a left brainer, is going to have a lot of challenges looking and feeling this confusion that the parents have. The father, meanwhile, has become quite addictive to alcohol, almost spoiled his liver. Nobody understands why even after understanding how injurious it is to health, he is not able to come out of it. Very critical. He always finds that he actually knows the reality also. He knows the wife visualizes a lot, wants to do a lot, but is not really able to translate it into action. And therefore, there is a lot of criticism in that front too. It doesn't really pave way. There's a lot of, there's no letting go happening on both sides. Yet they are staying together because of the D3 in the left prefrontal that makes them hold back a little, say a little, not take clear action, wanting to let go and still staying back. So there's a lot of to and fro that's continuously happening for this family. So much so that after all the guidance, after understanding all the aspects of the entire thing, this is how they are. They are being, especially Samatha, is perplexed, yet she is very confident about herself. That is what she would like to portray, and that is what she tries to keep rebuilding and affirming. So she is a total paradox of being perplexed and confident. She feels it's a natural response when faced with any complex or unprecedented situations which are confusing. She says, somehow I need to trust my ability and I need to navigate through it. How does she overcome fear? Confidence helps her to overcome fear, and anxiety is coming in associated with uncertainty. So continuously, I see this girl playing the Torah by believing in her own capabilities. She feels that I will face the unknown with a sense of courage, and there is a lot of pseudo and false courage that she actually shows. Between self-esteem and self-awareness, she has a strong sense of self-esteem and self-awareness. She allows individuals to acknowledge their limitations while also recognizing their strengths and leading them to have a balanced perspective when it comes to guiding others. But when it is for herself, there's a lot of to and fro that's happening. Problem solving and decision. Confidence can empower individuals to approach problem solving. She's proactive. She also has a resourceful mindset. Rather than succumbing to the feelings of helplessness or paralysis, let me move on, she says. But there's a lot of jerky movements. In essence, being perplexed yet confident. It's about recognizing challenges and uncertainties of life while maintaining a firm belief in one's own ability to overcome them. So what is the biggest hassle here? When she says, I have my own ability to overcome them, she's not able to understand and take guidance. For example, one of the advices we had given her was, after looking at her occipital, that she should forage into digital marketing and try and work more with her visuals. But she is now working on being a life coach. She shares her Insta posts. She seeks love. She seeks clarity. But I will share with you some of her Insta posts, and you can see how confused it is. There is not a firm statement coming from her side. There are more questions coming in, asking the universe to affirm her thought processes. I thought I'll stop talking a bit and actually sing. I know some of you love music out here, especially if you have a strong temporal, Vinodini. Yes, maybe she can sing along with me. This song came to my mind when I looked at the next family. निगाहों से छुप कर दिखाओ तो जाने ख्यालों में भी तुम न आओ तो जाने अजी लाख पर्दों में छुप जाए या नजर आएगा. So no matter how much you cover yourself, you will be seen. That is what this song says. Or no matter how angry you get with me, I will still be able to see through you. This is the song that came to my mind when I saw this next family. And I'll try and explain this to you. So this is the next family. It is Shilpa, Ria, and her husband. So wonderful family once again. Again, very helpful. They have brought in a lot more clients towards our side because they have understood the complexity of their own nature, and they were able to validate many of the points that we shared with them. So Vijay is working in a very renowned company. He is more in the managerial, this one. He has such strong occipital C3, C3X. Clearly, we said he should be having OCD. And at that point of time, it was very difficult for them to fathom that he has OCD, that he will keep things clean. But in just a few months' time, when they built their own home, and he took care of every single detail, from the glass to the kind of frames to the look and the feel. And today, the way he deals with the plants in the pots to everything else, the wife has definitely said, oh my God, this is the next level of OCD where everything has to be visually very pleasing. If anything is not placed in the right place, then there is an irritation that happens. At the same time, this person has very clear vision. C3X can guide. He has good foresight, etc. Yet he does have his small x, which kind of triggers and also kind of stops him from executing everything that he is visualizing, because he has an A1 there. Interestingly, he has a wife who is a C3 in her prefrontal, and she is an A1 in her visual. See what an indomitable pair they make, provided they come together. She should be able to trust what he is foreseeing and what his suggestions and ideas are, while he has to trust her and say, she is the one who will make my dreams a reality by executing everything and translating everything into action. So both these parents came here because all their focus was on the child. Child Ria is an A3, C3, A1, 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 A3, C3, C3, A1, C1, and has a very unique problem. She has a lot of ideas. She wants to do a lot of things, has very strong visuals, can articulate very well because temporals are pretty strong, emotion. But then she can sit in a dark room and get completely lost, not translate anything into action. There was this constant fluctuation of energy and unable to translate, with very weak, lowest energy in the parietal, and living in a cloud is what was happening with this child, an A3 and a C3, yet wanting the very best for herself. So for the mother with such strong prefrontals, handling this child and giving her a regular timetable and ensuring that she adheres to the timetable becomes one of the biggest challenges, which can drain her energy out, but she will never stop, even if she is drained. And the father, meanwhile, is fault finding because he's able to, it's getting triggered. He needs speed. He wants people to move and act because he's providing with all, both of them together are providing with all the resources, but that is not really happening. He is moderate on the right brain processing. He's very fast in the left brain processing. So the kind of thought processes and ideas that he comes to is not being communicated very clearly. And here, this lady being very moderate on the left side, this is exactly what her issue is, right? There's a lot of self-doubt when it comes to, and she wants to see every step. She wants to ensure that every step is carried out. So why did I really sing this song? I sang this because you might cover up. You might say, it's okay, let me do it. She tries to do that self-talk, but then nothing is hidden from her eyes. She will be able to see where the child is going. She will never be able to relax. She is quite a workaholic, and she, being a workaholic, expects her child to. So we have genuinely suggested them to look more into each other than to focus on the child and let the child be. So they come here very regularly for advice, and Ria, having the kind of exceptional visual talent, especially her right occipital being C1, she has this ability to translate any idea into an image. So one of the concrete suggestions we had given was, if she can go the visual way, she can be an influencer too, because she has wonderful this one over her emotions. So she will be working, as an influencer on Instagram, making the shortest and the smartest videos possible. And that is exactly the advice they have taken up. So what they have done is, because of this constant conflict, right? So I'm just summing up exactly what the mother is and how it is showing up as skin allergies also on her, restlessness, though she is regularly coming for meditation sessions, etc. It is very difficult for her to even meditate, because meditation also gives her a headache because of overthinking. So rest and frenzied activity. Both parents experience periods of inactivity as well as high levels of energy and action. Rest and frenzied activity can often be part of a natural cycle, like sleep and wake, etc. But it's very important to balance. It is important to find a balance between rest and activity for optimal health and well-being. Prolonged frenzied activity without sufficient rest can lead to exhaustion. It can lead to stress, other negative health consequences. And that is exactly what is happening with the mother. Rest and frenzied activities are two contrasting states. Both of them seem to be struggling with that. Can be part of a, or it also is a symptom for certain understanding. Understanding both rest and activity is important for them. So now she comes regularly for nature sessions. She comes for temple tours. She reaches out before any major decision is taken, because remember, her occipital is weak. She is expecting visionary there, but unable to repose trust in her husband, because they are not able to have normal conversations, because he can fire and he can be pretty negative in what he says, and that's kind of tipping this girl off. So she takes tips for her daughter, who shows exceptional talent, and I'm very happy to say that this child today is become a district champion and is moving towards the nationals for shooting. Apart from that, shooting and archery. Apart from that, she is also translating her lessons into one-page visual documents. And that is how this is kind of helping her. As far as my suggestion that they must look more at each other than look at their daughter, that is going to be, I think, a very long journey, because they still have to unburden and feel the love and tickle each other's heart before that happens. I don't see that happening that fast and that soon. So every time I work with a client, they do come back and they keep asking probing questions, but not necessary that they follow all the suggestions. Yet they do come back and realize that it is very important to follow the suggestions too. So it's a lot of work when it comes to nurturing. And perhaps that is also one of the reasons why I'm not able to take too many clients, because I feel, even then I feel every week I seem to be getting one family. Even that is a lot to handle and remember. But interestingly, it's only the Kriya, only the energy, this one, and keeping my heart very, very much in place and energies in place that's helping me do this. So here is yet another case. This is very interesting. I did not know this family at all. It was a teacher whom I had trained long back, who reposed trust in me and sent one of her students along with her parents to me. Hold on, I think we are not able to see yeah. So this is a case where the mother is an architect, the father runs a manufacturing unit, both, left brain. The child is also left brain, but he is encountering a lot of issues in his classroom. He gets bullied at times. His behavior is considered abnormal by the teachers at times, because when he answers, it is a spark that comes from deep within the recesses of his mind. They're not able to make out how he got that quirky answer. Yet they are not able to help him settle and do his activities in a normal, consistent way. So consistency is going to be like a tremendous body energy. So he will want to keep moving around, walking around, but can also get very terrified if the teacher shows her dissent. Then he kind of withdraws completely and goes into a shell. So the parents came here seeking help, and I think we went very deep into the mother first. And this is what we studied about the mother. Sorry. Yeah. So though she is an architect, she's like this. A trainer versus a creator. Her occipitals are not very strong. So it is not that she is visualizing. She's just picked up a few things from the art and she's kind of managing and also continuing to be an architect only because it gets her little money. So she's doing some menial designing, not much. So she's almost like this character. She's a trainer versus creator paradox, right? A trainer is somebody who primarily focuses on delivering knowledge and skills to others through a structured learning experience. But a content creator, on the other hand, they produce various types of content like text, images, videos. They inform, they entertain, they engage an audience on platform like social media, etc. She is an architect by degree, but she is more of a homemaker. Now imagine a mother like this who is educated, who can do a little bit of earning, is completely in love with this child, but doesn't know how to handle the child. So between love there and just feeling it, there is a call for tremendous action. So trainers, they want to impart only specific knowledge and skills. So she ends up doing that. She tries and works on math, etc., with the child, but it's not happening. And how does she do it? Very structured. Oh, ma'am has asked you to revise this, so you sit down and keep revising. So for a child whose body energy is so high and he has so many X's in his this one, it is so difficult for him to stay. But then if you don't have engaging ways, you can't really show the love. So the skills that she requires is strong presentation, communication, teaching, content creation, etc. Imagine today, mothers who are going through this kind of, they are homemakers, the husband expects them to take care of the child. The child has innumerable complexities. They're trying to push them into the school, but everything is coming back to the parent. The parent can feel very overwhelmed. So she started going into depression, started feeling that she is just not capable of taking her child, taking care of a child. But as luck would have it, they were here. And what happened is, I began to, of course, every time I took their scan and their report, there was validation at every steps. But then she always needs quick steps because she doesn't have the patience to formulate. So I made her sit with me and we went through a few sessions on how to help her teach her child. It was almost a teacher training session with lots of teaching learning strategy, quieting the mind exercises. She had to go through it first, experience it, to let her child experience it. So we took them through, all of them cooperated and went through the art of living sessions. The boy has gone through the intuition and meditation sessions. Then we went on to introduce them to, because I still remember so vividly when this decoding was happening, how Nitya said, based on the combination, she said it is very, very possible that this child will invent something, very unique in, especially in the field of to help agriculture and plant growth, etc. So Prakriti Patashala or Parisara Patashala is one thing that we recommended. So now they are doing their research. I have introduced them to 3 people who run nature-bound schools, and they are gradually weaning him out from a regular school, and they are moving in here. Interestingly, both of them have also decided to take a plot and work on themselves because he is so good. He is much calmer. He can understand, but then he is a typical, I'll tell you what kind of a person. He is a carrot and stick person. So you can't really understand what he is. He uses motivational techniques at time. He uses rewards, and then he uses punishment, stick. So the carrot and stick approach is what he uses, and that is confusing both the mother and the child, because actually it is rewards and incentives they are offered to encourage a desired behavior, correct? So sometimes he praises, sometimes he gives bonuses, sometimes privilege. So I'll just give you a few examples on how he behaves. Okay, parenting. As a parent, you offer a reward. Like for example, he gives extra screen time for completing certain roles. And then he also goes on to ground the child, especially when he does not follow instructions. And this is not very clear to the mother because she doesn't have the foresight or the vision to understand how grounding can actually help. She understands the carrot, but not the punishment. As a manager in his company, he offers bonuses for exceeding the sale targets, etc. But he also comes down so harsh on his this one for their poor performance that they are terrified of him. So they almost feel that he says himself that they think I'm placating them by giving them a bonus, but they are terrified to reach out to me because I don't know when I will lash out. So even it's like I was only reminded of this international relations that we are having, right? Should we really stop the water to Pakistan kind of thing? So offering economic aid and then threatening the sanctions. So this is exactly what he does with his wife. So she decided, okay, I'll earn a little bit, I'll stay at home, I'll try and work with the child. And he said, I will provide you for with everything. But if things don't turn out his way, he will withdraw support completely. And that kept her in perennial fear. So these are the subtle conversations they had. And while I tried to give them a perspective, especially the wife, a perspective on how the other thing will also work and how it will make her more responsible, she's begun to understand punishment, especially constructive punishment. They have stopped coming to blows with the child. They are studying various schools, especially Parisara Patashala, and they have decided to groom each other very openly. So this is how complex their design is and how complex the child's design is. Almost all of them prefrontal, they are more diverging. They are left brain and diverging. So definitely it is the Parisara Patashala kind of a thing that will actually make them come to terms with each other and their own complexities. So now I'm almost coming to the end. I'm taking up another family case, which is very interesting too. Ashirvad, Likita, Dyuti, and Lakshana, two daughters to these lovely parents. They had come along. Mother looks like a beautiful A1, 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 but she's so converging that she will want things done the way she has planned it. Else it can fill her with fear. And then she can go on and on and on and on with her plethora of complaints. The father, meanwhile, is more understanding. Yes, he has his triggers. So every time you go to him and raise doubts or fears, the fear definitely goes up a little more, and he's ready to spend whatever money he needs to, whatever fund he needs to give in order to ensure that the children get their best. While explaining also, the mother finds it easier to understand because her focus is a little more. But the father wishes to understand, but his focus is not there. It's a lot jumpy. It is very difficult for him to sit through and understand. He'll only say, okay, just tell me, what should I do? What is the end line? But that's not how life works, right? So with a C3X in the left prefrontal, he has unusual ways of working too. Very good at his work. At the same time, you can see the kind of fear that he harbors. With relationships, he's an A2 in the right prefrontal, and therefore he wants to give in, he wants to accept, yet he keeps coming back on his high horse. He wants to control for sure, but at the same time wishes that he could give them more freedom. Remember what Kritika said once. She said, if you have a small x, you will give freedom. If you have a capital X, you will micromanage. This is exactly what I see here. He wishes to give freedom, but then people force him to take a little more control. And when he takes control, there is, he says something, but he will end up doing exactly the opposite. quite a workaholic, unable to give time, believes that the structure should be like that and lets his wife take care. So in all this, the one person, Lakshana, of course, we have warned that this child will have OCD. She'll be such a perfectionist. Don't praise her too much because that will only increase. On the other side, Dyuti, if you look at her, she's a D1, D1, capital X1, C3X, C1, D1, C2, C1, A1, A1. She can easily get bullied by this younger sibling of hers. So she will also go into huge moments of inaction, will want to do, will be sharp, will communicate very well, will want to do something, but there will be a lot of blank moments. What we anticipated for her during our decoding session is that if this child is not taken care of now, she's hardly 10, 11 now. If she's not taken care of now, then she will have a lot of issues when she actually attains puberty. So interestingly, we said that, and it is very early puberty for the child. Puberty has hit this child in standard 5 itself. And interestingly, because they had come here and I told them that there's a lot of scope for creativity, this child will be an amazing teacher. She might teach very differently. She will create sensorial experiences to help everybody understand because she is a highly sensorial learner. But despite being a sensorial learner, because of her inactive nature, she might not pick up what is necessary. She goes into a limbo. She forgets even to put the water bottle back in her thing. So subtle suggestions, the mother became overly judgmental. Parents were both very, very appreciative of the younger one who doesn't lose a single thing. But here our responsibility was to safeguard this child, Dyuti, who will have some exceptional prowesses. But as of now, this is how she is going to behave. She was constantly compared with her aunt. She was, anything and everything negative was being spoken about. So Dyuti began to attend sessions here. She used to come and help me out whenever I used to prepare for a workshop or even prepare for the Bombay that I used to do. She used to sit here, she used to work, she used to understand what is actually happening. And then we gradually got her into the intuition course, wonder of wonders. Because what did we have to increase in this child? It was intuition that we had to increase. She's a fast processor, a left brain, fast processing, highly sensorial, unable to explain or express what it is that is going through her mind, exhibits immense sharpness, at the same time is not able to sustain the energy and translate it into action. So we went through, we did not go through only a 2-day course. We went through a 6-month hand-holding session for this child, and she is doing very well. She has calmed down. She's keeping tabs. I even told the parents, instead of expecting her to remember this in her mind, give her a few gadgets that will help her channelize, what is the work she needs to do, a checklist, so that she knows that she has to tick it off and keep all these things. And all this is beginning to help the child. She's being very creative. She's got excellent reports from the intuition masters. And I'm sure we are already grooming a child who is so caring of a younger sibling who can be a bully, to one, take a stance for herself, and two, show up that creativity despite what the world really seeks out of you. So I would like to end this session with yet another song, which always keeps, I keep humming this primarily because this is how I feel. Every time I look at anybody, I feel they are so divine. The numbers I understand, but then it is a deeper sense of the being that comes to me. This tremendous love that I feel. So the song that really comes to my mind now, can any guesses? Anybody from there can guess what the song could be from looking at the pictures? I know, I think my voice almost put you to sleep today. Yes, Kritika, Vinodini, any idea what this song could be from the images that you see here?
Good morning, everyone.
Yes.
Sorry, Jayashree G. I'm not able to guess the song.
Okay. Anybody, any guess? Any guess? Renuka.
Starting like Ghana.
Okay, starting with Kana. Okay. I really want you to play this. Yeah. Yeah, it starts with Ka, correct?
I think it's Bharatiya's song.
Who is this?
Prabha.
Prabha. Yes, Prabha. What is the song?
It's Kaki Chiraginile.
Absolutely, Prabha. Perfect. You were a very, very good hand, guys.
Thanks so much,
You can
ma'am.
hear it, yeah. So it's Kakai Siraginile Nandalala Nindran Kariya Niram Tondrude Nandalala. So in the color black, when people come with so many past, this one, all the cognitive loops that come with such strong impressions, I am able to see the divine in them. பார்க்கும் மரங்கள் எல்லாம் நந்தலாலா ரெண்டும் பச்சை நிறம் தோன்றுதே நந்தலாலா. So when I see the very, very strong occipitals, the very, very strong parietals who's ready to move, ready to be in nature, I see the divine in such people too. And the color that people show with such strong occipitals, கேட்கும் ஒளியெல்லாம், all the temporal strong people, the way they speak, the way they articulate, I'm able to see the divine in them. And then தீக்குள் விரலை வைத்தாலும் நந்தலாலா. So every time I try and catch an X and try to understand the extraordinary aspects of them, it's almost like playing with fire. So this is the song that I keep humming day in and day out and say, this is the experience that I'm having day in and day out with my clients. Thank you so much. That is it for today's DDS 4.0.
Thank you. Thank you, Jayashree. Really, you gave us a wonderful morning to start, as well as a lot more things to understand. I really appreciate your time and effort that you have taken in a very short duration. Wonderfully presented, as usual, a right-brainers, output of a left-brainers input. I understand, the lessons that are learned from the client and the testimonials and the progress that you are making. I congratulate you on giving this first session, and you have set some standards. I'm sure everybody is going to share their experience in a totally different way. So instead of hearing only one person, the monotonous way of interpreting the report, I think this DDS 4.0 sessions will give you a variety of information that they have gathered, and they are all present through their own UIDs and the style of their communication. And I'm looking forward to hear more from the others as well in the coming days. So I thank you once again for your time and starting this beginning. And I think you are the right person to make the initiation of this wonderful idea of having a DDS 4.0, and we will see what best we can learn. And I'm sure this DDS 4.0 is going to really raise our depth understanding of our interpretations, or what are the possible ways that a single UID can be interpreted. I think that's a great advantage that we are going to have. So I appreciate your effort and beginning. Now, anyone wants to say something, you please unlock and say. Otherwise, you can conclude the session because we are already 6:45. Yeah.
Morning, sir.
Yeah.
Good morning,
Bhuvanesh.
Jayashree.
Good morning.
Jayashree, it was wonderful to experience the various facets and talents that you have. Okay, your depth into spirituality, your knowledge of Rudram, your singing ability, your interpretation ability, your understanding, your nurturing ability. You're such a juxtapositioning all your various talents into one, what do I say? One UID, I would say. You got everything. So it was a very nice presentation and very interesting. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bhuvana. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Yes, Lakshmi. Lakshmi was the sweet test yesterday. I will G, I will share with you what Lakshmi wrote for me yesterday. And I was like, for a second, I actually got nervous, but then I rose to the occasion also. So 1 second, 1 second. Let me just go to, sorry about that, 1 second. You should read this because I was like, oh my God. She writes, Sai Ram, hope all is fine. All the best for your presentation. A new era unfolds tomorrow, marks an auspicious beginning by a divine person. I'm sure you'll do great. I was like, oh my God. Okay, this is a lot of expectation. But then thank you so much for those lovely words.
Yeah, it's something beyond expectation. Good morning, everyone. And it's something beyond expectation. And today's your presentation was absolutely speechless. So again, from a divine person, I have nothing to say. All the best, Jayashree.
Thank you, Lakshmi. Thank you so much.
Vijay.
Thank you, Jayashree, for the wonderful sharing. The way you connected GBP with the chakras is amazing. I really learned a lot from that today. Your time management is really excellent, Jayashree. You shared all your reports beautifully in the given time, extremely well. As usual, thank you, Jayashree. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Practice, sensorial learner, moderate processor, practice. And time really, really runs in me like that. You're right. Thank you so much for the observation.
Thank you,
Prabha, Kritika, would love to hear from you.
Yeah, Vinodini, please.
Jai Gurudev, ma'am. Ma'am, it was so nice. We learnt a lot of things from you today. I think more important what I learnt is the approach what you give in finding solutions to what can be improved upon them. So I take from your session that we should give a lot of solutions and follow up with them to find out whether that solution is working out or not. Thank you so much, ma'am.
My consistency in taking the DDS insights in the morning is precisely for that. Because unless I zero in and diagnose properly, we can't, the solutions will be more generalized and we need to be very specific and targeted. So huge shout out to Dr. Ratnaji for all the quirky inputs he gives. And I have to filter, I have to keep one big jalladai here and filter and take those pearls and then use them. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Jaya. Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. This is really a wonderful session. Today's session gave me insight about the healing of a family. Really, it's eye-opener to each and everyone because not only we are looking into the idea of a personal and their enhancement. This actually when we are working with the family, it really improves their harmony, peace, which leads to the surroundings also. So it's really wonderful that you're working with family and the solution, the way you're giving, as Vinodini said, we'll take this into our practice and definitely we will also come up with very good inputs. Thank you for this wonderful session, ma'am.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Jaya. Yeah.
And Prabha, thanks for cracking it. You made my day.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the opportunity to listen to you. And I think this is a great experience given in a package. It's so inspiring that, I think you have given a beautiful approach as such, and how to stay consistent with clients and, how to look at the thing as a divine script and all that is really inspiring. And I think way ahead, a lot of learning has to take place as we deal with clients and convert that into yet another transformative journey for each and everyone around us. I think truly inspiring, ma'am. A lot of learning has taken place today. Thanks for sharing all the experiences today. Thank you so much and stay blessed, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anyone else? Okay. Right. We'll take a break. Thank you, Jayashree, once again.
Thank you. Thank you so
All
much.
right. Yeah.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah.